Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo. It is so good to have you with us. Good morning. My name is Joan Montagnes, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving you, this congregation, as minister. Such a pleasure to be with you all. We've got folks tuning in from Slovenia to right around the corner, from right across the United States and into Canada. We've got over 110 screens tuning in, which probably means we're close to about 140 sweet people joining us this morning. So that's a nice space to start our worship. We are worshiping in a Zoom webinar format, which means we can't hear or see you. You can't hear or see each other. You can hear and see me, obviously, and you will be able to hear and see our worship associates, Eve Holberg and Sean Doyle. You can also chat with each other all the way through the service, and in an exciting new development, we now offer closed captioning. There should be some sort of button somewhere in your instructions that says CC. If you like them, put them on. If you find them distracting, you can hide them. I want to offer a deep moment of gratitude from the warmest and most precious part of my heart for Josh Disick, our technician today, John Petroselli, Justin DeClean, Karen Streech, Bobby Withrow, Paul Zanoli, and all our music staff who help create our worship experiences every single week. Got a few announcements here. The first one is that we have a sock drive going on. The Justice team is partnering up with Friends of Night people to make sure that people who need warm, clean, new socks have them. So we're inviting people to bring new warm socks to the church between 1 and 2 p.m. today. And we'll be getting those off to people who call the streets their home and who might be out in the cold a lot more than maybe you or I. So yeah, bring those socks in between 1 and 2 p.m. today. We're wrapping up the months-long drive today. So that means go out after church, pick up those socks and bring them in. We appreciate any and all participation in this justice activity. Also, we're wrapping up our Poetry Imagination project. You have been invited all month long to write a short poem, haiku, sinquan, limerick, whatever you want, and send it to me at minister@buffalouu.org. And I'm going to take all that poetry and put them on cards and hang them from the tree in our courtyard, in our garden entrance, so that we will create an imagination cooperative poetry gallery. So please get them to me by Monday night. And this is something that everybody in the family can participate in. My final announcement is that we have a Zoom fellowship time after this service and every service in the foreseeable future. At the end of this webinar, where you can't hear or see each other, we will start another meeting, which will be a proper meeting, so you'll be able to see and hear each other. That fellowship time, the address for it is in the chat, in your newsletter, in the e-blast, and it'll be on the last slide of this worship service. So come on out to the Zoom fellowship time, see some old friends, meet some new ones, and that is enough announcing. Take a deep breath and come, let us worship together.
Good morning, everyone. Our call to worship today is Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good, You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clear blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. Come, let us worship.
Let's read our chalice lighting words on your screen and in your order of service. We gather in loving community, inspiring one another to transform ourselves to create a more just and compassionate world.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl, a very special little girl, and her name was Poppy Pickle. Poppy Pickle lived in an ordinary house with an ordinary family and three very ordinary cats. But Poppy Pickle was not ordinary. Far from it. Poppy Pickle was full to the brim with imagination. One afternoon, as Poppy Pickle was busy imagining, she announced to her family, I present to you the incredible, the amazing flying cat. And indeed, the cat flew right out of Poppy Pickle's arms through the air and landed right on Poppy Pickle's father's head. Sometimes Poppy's imagination got her into a bit of a pickle. Grandmother had had enough. Poppy, go upstairs this instant and tidy your room. Poppy went upstairs, but she didn't tidy her room. Instead, she started imagining. And suddenly the strangest things started happening. Her imagination became alive. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was magic. Soon, Poppy was imagining all kinds of things. She imagined big. She imagined small. She imagined near and far and everywhere in between. She imagined inside out and upside down. She imagined it all. A never-ending piggy bank, a castle made of cake, a chocolate tree, a bear with flippers, an uptight garden gnome, invading alien UFOs, an octopus with a mustache, Crablo Picasso. That's a crab that paints. A chimp with a cello, a cycling worm. Figure that one out. A giant talking hot dog, a tap dancing bunny rabbit, the perfect pet, which happened to be a crocodile named Rex, a shooting star, a magical unicorn, a philosophizing beaver, a ghost, boo, a baby T-Rex, a space rocket, and a talking goldfish. Soon Poppy's room was full of weird and wonderful creatures. Downstairs, meanwhile, Grandmother heard the rumpus of it all. "Poppy, I hope that's the sound of you cleaning your room." Poppy was having the time of her life until it all started going very, very wrong. Rex the crocodile wanted to eat her. The octopus with the mustache was reaching for her with all its tentacly arms. And the philosophizing beaver began pontificating. And the tap dancing bunny began tap dancing on Poppy's toes. And then everything went from very, very wrong to totally, totally terrible. Grandmother was coming upstairs. "Right, that's it. Poppy, I'm coming upstairs and I want to see that room of yours spick and span." Poppy was in a huge pickle. She had to get rid of all the beasties as fast before Grandmother found out. Well, unimagining the creatures didn't work out at all. All the wonderful and weird beasties became weirder and not really wonderful. A ghostopus, a piggy bear, and a T-rabbit with teeth like this. So Poppy imagined a giant eraser to rub them all out. But the imaginary creatures were very hard to catch, and Poppy was running out of time. Grandmother was at the door. "Poppy Pickle, open this door this instant." Suddenly Poppy realized, that's it, a door. Quick as a flash, a door appeared. Well, it was hard work pushing all the beasties through it. But Poppy got it done just in time. When Grandmother opened the door, Poppy's room was a total and complete mess, but all the creatures were gone. Grandmother was not pleased. It took Poppy all afternoon to clean up after her imagination. When she finally finished, it was dinner time, and she was in trouble. Big trouble. "Now, Poppy, you can't blame imaginary things. You can't just make things up." "But I'm not making things up." "Wait, I'll show you. Him. I present to you the incredible, the amazing woolly mammoth." And just then, a gigantic woolly mammoth landed, boom, right smack dab in the middle of the dining room table, smashing it to pieces. "There," said Poppy. "Now you believe me."
Every week, we take a good portion of our Sunday morning offering and give it away to a social justice cause outside our church walls. This month, we are supporting the good work of Housing Opportunities Made Equal, also known as HOME. HOME values the diversity and has a vision of a world in which all people have equal opportunity to live in the housing and communities of their choice. HOME empowers people through education, advocacy, and enforcement of fair housing laws. You can use PayPal by going to our website, www.buffalouu.org, and clicking on the blue Donate button. Or you can send us a check by mail to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo, 695 Elmwood Ave, Buffalo, New York, 14222. You can also arrange a regular automatic deposit with your bank. If yours is a gift to Share the Plate ministry, please write "Share" on the memo line, and it will be shared between HOME and the church operating budget. If yours is a welcome gift to our congregation, please write "Pledge 2021" on the memo line. Either way, please write UUCB on the important line, and we will do the bookkeeping.
What is this song? What can it be? I wonder why it seems to apply to me. Use your imagination. Just take this motto for your theme, and soon every night will be crowded with delight, and every day will be a dream. Use your imagination. You'll see such wonders if you do. Around you there lies pure enchantment in disguise, and endless joys you never knew. Behind every cloud there's a so lovely star. Behind every star there's a lovelier one by far. So use your imagination. Just take this motto for your theme, and soon you will dance on the road to sweet romance, and every day will be a dream. Behind every cloud there's a so lovely star. Behind every star there's a lovelier one by far. So use
Our first reading this morning, The Discovery of What It Means to Be American by James Baldwin. The time has come, God knows, for us to examine ourselves, but we can only do this if we are willing to free ourselves of the myth of America and try to find out what is really happening here. Every society is really governed by hidden laws, by unspoken but profound assumptions on the part of the people, and ours is no exception. It is up to the American writer to find out what these laws and assumptions are. In a society much given to smashing taboos without thereby managing to be liberated from them, it will be no easy matter. In this endeavor to wed the vision of the old world with that of the new, it is the writer, not the statesman, who is our strongest arm. Though we do not wholly believe it yet, the interior life is a real life, and the intangible dreams of a people have a tangible effect on the world.
It is cliche to say that we're at a turning point in American history, but it sure feels that way, doesn't it? New president, the impact of the pandemic on, well, everything. The Black Lives Matter movement, the advent of the stock market short squeeze, whatever that is, our wider understanding of gender, and the loss of our time-honored tradition of a peaceful transition of power. It feels like we're at a turning point in American history, but we aren't, no. History isn't something that suddenly changes on a dime. It doesn't turn on a dime. It doesn't become something completely new all of a sudden. History is written at every moment. We are continually surfing on a forming edge. The myth of a static America is just that. It's a myth. The story that some people tell each other to make sense of their world. The myth of America is a set of hidden, unspoken laws that need to be revealed, if nothing less, may be broken for the greater good. The taboos need to be examined, maybe smashed if we are ever going to truly care about all our neighbors and every generation. You know, shifting culture to create an America which is genuinely a land of the free, that's not a task for the few or the faint of heart. It's a task for a bold, brave, loving people. It can be messy and painful. It is for those who can yoke themselves to their dreams in the face of enormous setbacks, utter frustration, and cruel disappointment. James Baldwin reminded us, though we do not wholly believe it yet, the interior life is a real life. And the intangible dreams of a people have a tangible effect on the world. We who dream of a more perfect world have an obligation to take the life of the mind seriously so our dreams can guide history from a road littered with shame to a horizon blazing in glory.
strive for life, suffered in angry strife, seek compassion, find release in the covenant of peace. Sing a sacred melody for the justice that shall be. Let our harmonies resolve, dissonance in steadfast love. Steadfast seeker, find a song, woven in our life made strong. Let the patterns of surprise kindle hope with each sunrise.
Our second reading is from Barton Fink by Joel and Ethan Cohen. My job is to plumb the depths, so to speak, dredge up something from inside, something honest. I gotta tell you, the life of the mind, there's no roadmap for that territory, and exploring it can be painful.
Let's join our hearts and minds in a quiet moment of prayer, meditation, and reflection. Let's lean into this forming moment in all the confusion, mystery, and unknowing, fevered with love's anxiety. O hapless plight, O happy plight. Lean into that deep well of being, the life interior where the path is never clear and none can follow. Past transitory joys, rising struggle, fear, and doubt. Press on, plumb depths beyond all noise and haste, beyond even body, where all is still and one. And now let us open the peace of our worship space to the names of all our loved ones suffering in sorrow and celebrating in joy. Each name a breath, each breath a prayer. The breath of nature is upon us. The spirit of life is within us. The community of love is among us. So be it. Blessed be. And let the church say, Amen.
Our final reading this morning is from The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move on to what shall be. A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left with. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the windswept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. And every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. The world offers itself to your life of the mind, calls to you like wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. Whoever you are. From the deepest, most profound stirrings of your soul to the most impish, trivial tasks of your day, you as a whole, you have a place in the family of all things. From the tiny space of your needs to the future of this nation, you have a place in the family of all things. Imagine that. Not as an exclamation of surprise, imagine that, but as a mantra for daily living. You have a place in the family of all things. Let that be your myth. Let that be the way you make sense of the world. In spite of the shattering pieces of this day, you are not alone. You have a place in the family of all things, and the world is offering itself to your imagination. Let that be your call, a call from the lungs of whole people in whole communities. With every breath, we can rise. With every breath, we can raise this world from wounded to wondrous, if only we're brave enough to dream it. If only we're brave enough to be it. Let's join in singing from all the fret and fever of the day.
From all the fret and fever of the day, let there be moments when we turn away, and deaf to all confusing outer din, intently listen for the voice within. In quietness and solitude we find the soundless wisdom of the deeper mind. With clear, harmonious purpose, let us then bring richer meaning to the world again.
As we extinguish the flame of this chalice, may we carry its light with us into the world, in the power of peace, faith, justice, and love.
Remember that the antidote for doubt is dreaming, and the antidote for fear is imagining. Be brave enough to name your dream, and bold enough to lean into your imagination. In this way, the wildness of your inner life will nurture a glorious tomorrow. Remember, you are blessed. Remember, you are a blessing. And above all else, remember, you are not alone. You are never alone. So be it. Blessed be, and let the church say, Amen.